Set up on Facebook here. All right, let's see, we'll just get us live here. Hello and welcome. Just give us a minute here. We're just getting all the technology worked out. I'm excited to be here with Sarah today. Right, we're just waiting for good old Facebook to join us, Sarah.
Okay.
It's not a day if it isn't something with technology, right?
Oh, bless me. I know.
It's taking its sweet time today here. Let's see here. Let me try that again, Sarah. For some reason, it is not wanting to go live to Facebook. How rude. Let's try this. Let's try this again. Oh, there it goes. Let's see if it works this time. Now it's thinking about it. All right. Let me check and make sure we're live here. There we go. Let's see. I think we're officially live now.
Okay.
All right. Yay. The joys of technology. It worked. All right. Well, welcome everyone. Happy Saturday. My name is Erin Salem, and I work mainly in the other group, the Freedom From Migraine Method program Facebook group. I am the official client success coach. I work with Debbie and our amazing team. I'm also a graduate of the program myself, so it's wonderful to be here today as a graduate and someone who works on the team. So that's pretty cool. If you're watching this, please say hello or put an emoji in the comments so we know you're here live. And if you're watching this on the replay, please make sure to put #replay so we know you got a chance to watch this. Okay, so thank you so much for being here. Before we jump into meeting Sarah here, who I'm so thrilled is here with us on the Saturday, you might wonder why we do these calls. So normally we usually do these calls on Tuesday afternoons, but we're so fortunate that Sarah was willing to meet with us today. So we do these weekly migraine strategy calls to share expert information about migraines. And as in the case today, to have the lovely Sarah show us, share her journey with us as a graduate of the Freedom From Migraine Method program. Okay, so we're thrilled to have Sarah here today. As I said, she's a recent graduate of both our Freedom From Migraine Method group and program and our Destination Zero program. And I just want to say thank you officially to you, Sarah, for joining. Let me share some bio information about you that you kindly shared, and then I'd love to hear from you. So Sarah considers that her wonderful family is made up of her husband, Michael, her son, Andrews, who's a teenager, and I love that name, Andrews, daughter, Elizabeth, who's also a preteen. And I love that they have, we were talking about two-legged family and four-legged family. So they have 2 dogs, Millie and Bruno, and a cat named Maggie. You've got a house full. You got a house full for sure.
Busy.
Yes. And in your spare time, you're also the director of a nonprofit, the Lafayette County Literacy Council, and you've taught 2-year-olds. Which is amazing. You enjoy walking your dogs, nature, fishing with my family, reading books, and watching my kids play sports. And I'm sure at their ages, there's plenty of sports and events to watch. I often hear, my kiddo's a little younger, but I often hear my friends of teens say, I'm a parent and a chauffeur and a fan most days. Yep. So you shared kindly that at the beginning of the Freedom From Migraine Method program, you were averaging close to 15 migraines a month. And I just want to take a moment and say, if that's your average, right? Wow, Sarah, that was a lot. And I'm so sorry for your suffering. I'm also thrilled you're finding some relief thanks to the programs too. So now you'd say you're averaging about 1 to 5 migraines a month. But thanks to the tools of the program, you can manage and often end them. Am I saying that accurately?
Yes,
that's amazing. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. So I'm just thrilled for you personally. I'm thrilled for your family. I think anytime, especially as women and mothers and workers and all the roles we play, anytime we're well enough to be present with our family, that is the best gift, especially with kiddos getting older, right?
Right.
Anything you want to add to that bio, Sarah, before we move on?
That sounds about right.
Good. All right. And so we're going to kind of focus on a couple areas today because I mean, I adore talking to you. You and I could talk forever. And I just want to say to everyone, thank you for your patience with my voice. I usually don't sound quite this froggy. So thank you. And if I have to sneeze or blow my nose, I apologize. Speaking of kiddos, our kiddo decided to share this lovely crud with us. So kind. I was telling our kid, like, you know, we teach kids to share everything, right, Sarah? Wouldn't it be nice if they didn't share their germs?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So before we jump into your story, just so we understand before you started these programs, how long were you suffering with migraines and this kind of pain before the program?
For close to 26 years.
Wow,
Very
that's a
long
lot.
time. Mhm.
So, I mean, almost 3 decades of your life.
Yes.
And you're obviously very young. So that's a good chunk of your life.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That is a lot. Okay. So before you found the Freedom from Migraine Method program and you decided to join, what were you using or trying to use to end your pain or manage your pain? What did that look like for you?
I think I've used it all. I began with pain pills whenever I first started getting migraines because that's really all they prescribed back then.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, I could not function at all. I couldn't go to work. I couldn't do anything. And then they started with the preventatives. So then I started all of the preventatives, which is your Topamax. And then I've done the Aimovig shots. And I was on close to 10 medications that I've been weaning myself off of. But I also tried the nerve blocks. I did the botox. I've done acupuncture. I've done different types of allergy medications. I really would do anything that anyone would suggest or recommend.
Yeah. Well, because, as we learn in this program, understandably, you don't want to be in pain and you need to function, but there's a big difference between treating symptoms and healing source, right? So it sounds like understandably they were trying to stop the pain, but they were also trying to just have you manage, which means you're never truly dealing with what's causing the migraine, right?
Right.
Wow. And, good for you for being open. I think it's really important to be open to trying things. But at the same time, how did that, with all the medications you set up to 10, how did or I shouldn't assume, I guess, were there side effects with those choices and with those meds? I mean, did those cause other issues for you?
They did. They did.
Mhm.
About 6 or 7 years ago, I started having a lot of pain in my upper stomach. And so I went and got scoped and found out I had gastritis. And
Mhm.
that was from all of the NSAIDs that I
Mhm.
had been taking for so many years, had just, eaten the stomach lining.
Right.
So that was my first real scare, I think, of everything I'm taking is affecting me. So I
Mhm.
did stop immediately taking all NSAIDs and it did heal my, the lining back, which was nice. But
Great.
then I was still taking everything else,
Yeah.
which was probably, as we know, not great for me. But that was a big scare as well. And of course, most migraine medication makes you extremely foggy.
Yeah.
So I've been very foggy, um, trouble making sentences, knowing people's names, things like that is a big side effect that I would notice.
Well, and I'm sure not only as a parent, but you're running a nonprofit. I'm sure the last thing you need to be is foggy at work or
Yeah.
foggy with your kids. I know as a parent myself, some of my biggest heartache when I had migraines was not being present for my kid and not tracking, right? Yeah.
Yes, it's hard when
Okay.
you're in bed and you want to be places with them.
Exactly. Wow. Well, I'm glad you're healing and I'm glad you found some different ways of doing that. Okay, so that was kind of 26 years of, sounds pretty miserable, right?
Mhm.
Not being fully present in your life. Okay. So how did you go from those options to hearing about this Freedom from Migraine Method program? We often hear women talk about, like, there was this woman named Debbie on Facebook, and, what, kind of gave you the thought, like, okay, I'm going to give this a try? Because it seems like obviously life was not easy, but it was another kind of leap of faith, right? You had to be willing to try one more thing. So
It
what?
was, I think that I had tried everything. I
Mhm,
thought I had tried everything, I guess is what I should say. And I was miserable. I
mhm,
was to the point of where I could make no plans with friends or family.
mhm,
And if I did make plans, then I was canceling them.
mhm,
And I was to the point where I really felt I was not living my life at all. And yes, I came across the program
mhm,
and started watching and listening and realized that there was maybe another way
mhm,
than what I thought. I honestly thought I had to always take more and more and more pills.
mhm.
And then that led me to scheduling the interview with Debbie.
Okay. So you were willing to just talk to Debbie and hear what she had to say.
Oh, yes, I
Yeah.
was willing. I've always wanted to learn more about migraines, wanted to understand it. And then I realized that her approach was honestly something I'd never heard. I'd been to so many doctors, but this was something I didn't even know was possible.
Yeah.
So I wanted to hear more.
Yeah. And I'm just going to pause here in the group. I know Debbie's in the group with us today. Hi, Debbie. Um, just if anyone can relate to this part of Sarah's story about, and please tell me, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm kind of translating here, about feeling miserable, right? And, I love what you say about, it wasn't like you weren't willing to try. You were happy to do the work, right? You understood you had a responsibility and a role in your healing, and yet the tools you've been given at that point weren't working, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So talking to Debbie, you were like, oh, this is a whole new way. So who else can relate today to feeling miserable and just wanting tools that worked? I think that's a huge key point for me.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay. So, so you took this leap of faith. You joined this awesome program, the Freedom from Migraine Method.
Yes. Yes.
I'm personally biased because I've so enjoyed supporting you on your journey. It's been such a joy. And, I was just sitting here looking at you, the transformation just sitting on screen with you. I remember when you first joined, which I think was last October,
Right. Mhm.
right? Like, you didn't want to really be on screen. You weren't really up for talking. You've always been your lovely self, but you were like, no, I don't feel well enough.
Mhm,
The
mhm.
fact that you're sitting today on a Saturday, we're just chit chatting and you're
Yeah,
smiling. It's
huge.
amazing.
And I've already
So
been
what?
for a walk with my dogs. And so that's, that's great.
Amazing. Okay. So tell me a little bit about what the journey's been like for you since last October when you joined. What's been the biggest changes for you?
So I'd probably say that I realized I immediately needed to stop taking the triptans because I was
Okay.
rebounding so badly. And once I talked with Debbie about that and started understanding that better, for me, that was my biggest goal, is that I was done with them. And so in
Okay.
October, I took my very last triptan and
Wow.
decided, yeah, that I would focus on getting through the migraines a better way. And
Okay.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It wasn't easy. And,
Mhm.
but I knew that that's what I needed to do. I needed to get those out of my body. So for me, that is how it all began, was that was my first medicine that I was going to get rid of. And then I
Okay.
had 10 medications that we started getting me off of, you know, and, I would message Debbie all the time, like, oh, this feels weird. This feels weird. And, she would help me understand, yes, you're
Mhm.
coming off all these medicines and this is what's happening. And so it helped me through it. Um, but as I got off each medicine, it was just like, oh, this amazing feeling that I had done something. I had, been successful in that. Totally changed the way I've eaten. I never really
Mhm.
ate bad,
Mhm.
but it taught me about all the good fats. I
Mhm.
grew up in that low fat era and
Mhm.
would buy things like that. This helped me learn more about the things I needed to be putting in my body. And as I
Smart.
started doing that, I started seeing the results. And then it's just every month I would get off something different, and began to deal with my migraines using the tools that were taught to use them.
Wonderful. And I think it's really important to say here, I know we're sharing this with the Women's Migraine Freedom Group. And one of the reasons, I know some people get frustrated with us, so like, why can't you just tell me? There are general things we can learn, but I love what you said about you touched base with Debbie, because your journey is very individual, right? Like they can be general support, general knowledge, but then, what you did for the first 26 years might have looked very different than what I did. What you need, right, in the program and after might be very different. So I know people sometimes get frustrated with us. We're not trying to dodge you. We're not trying to not answer your questions. But I think for me as a graduate and someone who works on the team, the group support dynamic, but also the individual help is the key for me, right? Have you ever felt like this kind of group support before, or individual support?
Oh, the group support was amazing. I loved having the group support because I think we've said before, like there may be a question that I wasn't thinking of, or I didn't realize that. Oh yeah, maybe that is what caused it. For me too, though, the individual support was huge because, like you said, so I had the gastritis. Someone else may have diabetes. I mean, everyone kind of has something different going on in their life. Someone may be going through menopause, someone may be going through perimenopause. Everybody's trying to get off something different. So I understand that part of it. But I totally know what you mean. But I could not have done it without support.
Yes, understandable. And wouldn't it be nice, Sarah, to live in a world, and I think you live in this world now, like, why do we have to do it alone? Don't we deserve the support we need, right? To be our best selves. All right. So that was in the program. And I know it's amazing. We were talking before we started this interview that, you're graduating. I'm so happy. This is so bittersweet. I'm so happy for you, and
Thank you.
so happy for your family. You'll be missed. It's bittersweet to see people go. What does your life look like these days? What are you enjoying? Where does that authentic smile on your face that you don't mind getting on screen with come from these days?
I enjoy waking up in the mornings and not having a migraine. That's usually when mine would come in, the middle of the night. I'd wake up in the morning and I was foggy and I felt bad, and I started taking my pills and just pushed through the day. So I enjoy waking up, not having to take any medication, and feeling like walking my dogs, and feeling like making a list for the day and getting out and conquering the things I need to get done. It also looks like for me saying no to a lot of things I didn't say no to before. So I feel a lot better in that sense.
Yeah.
But for some
kind
reason,
of knowing
to help me do that.
Well, we talk a lot about mindset. I'm
It's
part of that. Yeah. And also just the permission to give ourselves what we need to be okay. And whether that's healing with migraines, navigating family stuff, work, right? I mean, relearning what does health look like for us. I think in one of your notes you shared, you're feeling better than you have in a long time, right? I mean, you feel healthier. Is that the word you used, I think?
Yes, I feel much healthier, without a doubt. Just my whole body feels healthier. When I look at pictures from even like last summer to now, it's like I can tell like the inflammation is gone from, that all the medication, was giving me or putting in me. I just feel like I'm looking better. I'm feeling and looking healthier.
Yeah, and that's huge. And I don't know about you, anytime I just feel better in general, I can, like you said, wake up and look forward to the day versus, oh no, not another day, right?
Exactly.
Wonderful. Okay. So let me just check here, make sure we covered everything else. Okay. All right. So I love you. My favorite, one of your favorite quotes here is, it's worth every penny. And I want to honor, and you were honest about this, that initially you struggled thinking about joining this program because of finances, right? Because money, finances, I think, are more real for us than they've ever been before. Okay. And I think if I quoted you correctly, you said it was worth every penny. Why do you say that? Or if someone's watching this and they're kind of on the fence about, talking to Barbie or talking to Debbie, why would you say, go ahead and have that initial call? Why would you say, if someone out of the blue asked for your recommendation for this program, why do you say that it's worth every penny?
Because I feel like I'm a different person. I'm not living in pain anymore.
Mhm.
And I could not have done it without the program. And I think we're all, when you see the price of anything, you're like, oh, these days.
Mhm.
But I will say also, I went from like my pharmacy bill from
Yeah.
being like, I'm talking 300-400 a month. I got
Mhm.
it this week. It was $26. So
Well, okay. Sorry. Time out. I gotta stop you
yeah,
there. $300 to $400 a month to how much?
26. And that might have even been my husband's. I don't know. It's just like,
Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as much now, right?
it
Like,
matters.
yeah.
Yeah. So that is how I started looking at it, is that
Mhm.
I'm not going to have to pay for all of these medications. Yes, I still go to my neurologist, every, 3 months, just to let her know how I'm doing. But
Yeah,
I'm
which
not
is
going to
smart.
be going and paying all of that. So
Mhm.
for me, it was like, okay, let's start putting this money somewhere else into this program.
Wow.
And it just made sense.
Yeah. And please, I know you've heard this a lot, and Debbie says this a lot. We're not anti-medication in this program.
Right.
I think, your journey is individual. There's a lot of people that join this program on medication. It's fine. There's some people that would like to get off everything. Yeah, there's some people who can't get off everything due to other
Mhm.
conditions, right? So,
Right. Yeah.
but I think what's wonderful to hear is you wanted to see what worked for you. And in that process, you're saving money every month.
Right.
That's amazing. I think for me too, it's amazing what becomes normal, especially in migraine pain and chronic pain and managing the pain.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
then when you start to feel better and you really have some relief, you're able to look at things differently. Like maybe we'll look at this differently, Yeah.
Yes.
But how do you do that if you're in pain all the time? That's not possible, right?
It's not possible. It is not.
Wonderful. So is it okay if I use your quote stays, it's worth every penny?
Yes, of course.
And I think I'll add to that, you can actually save some money. That's amazing. I guess I
Yes, you
never,
can save some. Exactly.
that's a great insight. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Sarah. And please, people that are watching the group, Sarah's wonderful. If you have any questions for Sarah or about this conversation, please do not hesitate to put something in the comments. Sarah, Debbie, myself, someone on the team will get back to you. Is there anything else before I wrap this up for us, Sarah? Anything else you want to share? I just want to give you a chance.
I think a lot of people say this, but I really did not think that there was anything else that I could do.
Mhm.
And I definitely didn't think that it would be getting off a lot of the things I got off of.
Mhm.
So I would say just try it.
Mm.
I'd also say some people if they're on the fence, then they're not ready for it.
That's a great insight.
You will know
Mm.
when you have had enough, when you can no longer live that way.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay,
Yep.
I'm ready.
Yep.
I'm ready.
And I'm open to doing the work because I'm worth it.
Yes, I'm open to doing the work.
Awesome. Yay. Yay.
Yay.
Yay. All right. Well, Sarah, I just want to honor what a journey you've been on personally and for your family. I am so happy for you that you chose to prioritize yourself and your health by becoming a member of the Freedom From Migraine Method. I love what you're saying too. I think your awareness that this is and must remain a daily choice.
Oh,
Your
yeah.
well-being, our well-being must remain a daily choice. It sounds like it's a lot simpler and easier these days and, more joyous and less overwhelming. So
Yes.
wonderful.
Yes.
Those are all great mindset choices, right?
Yes.
So I just want to say, thank you for your time today. I said this before, I'll say it again. It's been a true joy and honor supporting you in the program. I'm thrilled you're graduating. I'm sad you're graduating. And please know that, Debbie, myself, and the team are going to continue to cheer you on every step of the way. And, I think truly our presence is the best present or gift we can give our loved ones. And as you sit here today, I can tell you're not only giving that to yourself, but to your life. And that's amazing. All right. And I think, and you're so right. Isn't it worth every penny to enjoy your life fully?
It is.
Yeah, wonderful. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining this call today. Like I said before, if you have any questions for any of us, please put them in the comments below. Feel free to tag Sarah. I know she'd be happy to answer. And before we wrap up, just a reminder that our next call is Tuesday, May 17th at 3:30 p.m. Eastern time. The lovely Catherine, another great graduate, will be sharing her journey. So for now, go out and enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Erin.